You're listening to the Real Estate Forum, where we talk all things real estate and have a good laugh along the way.
The Real Estate Forum is back for a third episode. Would you believe it? And crazy, massive week in real estate. Some big things have happened this week, legislation-wise, interest rate-wise, but also some juicy nuggets that we've got for anyone that is starting out in real estate or even been doing it for a little while to help elevate your game to the next level. Because one of our panelists that are joining us today, I'm not going to reveal it just yet, but she is dominating in her core market and she's got some really cool things to tell us. But before then, Brent, my man, how have you been?
Yeah, good. Really good, actually. Massive Saturday night, which still recovering from.
What happened?
Well, grand final day.
Yeah, during the day. And what happened the night time?
Yeah, I think I'm so guilty of just getting carried away. Like I say all week, I'm going to just have a few drinks and go home. And then
you can't control yourself.
The next thing it's 2, 3 a.m. And yeah, but no, we're back. It actually wasn't that big at all. But yeah, great game on Saturday. Work-wise, a little bit quiet, but we have got like an influx of these listings coming on now. We're starting to see them all hit the market, which is awesome to see. So this Saturday, pretty busy day. What are you seeing in your market?
What a flex. What a flex, huh? All these listings coming on. Man, you're doing really well. You can kick him some great goals. I say kicking goals because obviously it's a bit of a pun. My Saturday was good. I knocked off at 2:30 and watched the grand final and sat at home by myself and went to sleep by about 8.
Yeah, awesome. I wish I had that self-control.
Right, now there is, we're pleased to announce, we had 3 subscribers this week. And Craig, our producer, said, make sure to like, subscribe, and share to help us grow.
Please.
Thank you, Craig. But no, this podcast is doing all right.
Yeah, we're seeing a few thousand views every week, which is awesome. So hopefully people are getting some key insights about real estate and having a few laughs.
Said that we're the number 1 podcast in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, I'd have a fact check that, but I always trust him.
He talks a lot of shit, this guy. So. He's probably wrong, but we'll go with it. The number 1 real estate podcast in the Southern Hemisphere. Welcome to the Real Estate Forum. So, do you want to touch on just briefly about who our guest speaker is today?
Yeah, so we have Kyla from Barry Plant, who's obviously a very close friend of mine. Nah, I'm kidding. She's actually my partner. So I'm a very lucky man to have her, part of my life and in my corner, and especially in real estate as well. She understands what the job entails, and she's an absolutely amazing agent and an even better person. So it's really good to have her on the show. She's currently number 1 agent in Narre Warren, which is a market that I look at, and it is absolutely flooded with real estate agents. You look at our market in Lang Lang, we might be number 1 there, but we maybe compete with 2 to 3 agents. So I look at her in her short career. I think she's been in real estate 6 years now, and maybe was a number 1 agent within the first 12 months in such a dominant area. So I can't wait to hear or ask her questions, which I know the answers to, and get a real deep dive of how she got there and how she's maintaining that, because she's an awesome person, and I can't wait for you to listen to what I love about her as well.
What do you love about her?
God, hard-hitting questions first. There's a lot of things that I do love about her.
Just give me one thing.
Like her personality matches mine, which people probably think, God,
psychotic.
When they have kids, it's going to be fucking chaos at their house. But then everyone says that maybe 2 wrongs will make it right, and hopefully we'll have a quiet little kid like you, Gav.
And 2 rights to make an aeroplane. So flying into the next topic, I'm looking forward to that. There's obviously, you know the answers because you guys know each other exceptionally well. I'm looking forward to, because if anyone's out there watching this or listening to this, and you are an agent right now and you're thinking, I'm in a metro area, whether it's Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, whatever it might be, and you're just getting attacked from agents left, right, and center, like coming into your core area. Truth be told, you're probably going to their core area too, but it's so hard to get ahead. You and I are fairly blessed that we're on the edge of the train line, the edge of the metro area, so you don't get like other agents coming in from that side, because it's just green wedge farming land. There's no agents out there. But from where Kyla sits, like, this is the center of the universe in many regards, and you have just got people coming from all angles at you. I'm pretty keen to hear what she has to say too. And unlike you, mate, I don't know the answers.
Exciting.
So, it's our third episode,
Yes.
and we have a third sponsor.
Yeah, so
Which is
we've
pretty cool.
Yeah, so we've got 3 sponsors now. Massive shout out to Douglas from Adaptive Fire and Electrical. I was having a chat to him earlier today about what he can do to get the properties obviously lit up like a Christmas tree, we say in real estate terminology. So we've got some really, really good options there with Douglas. We've got Jade Murphy from 11 Financial. As I said last week, she's amazing. 48-hour turnaround. If you're a first home buyer, she's an absolute guru with first home buyers, especially now being October the 1st. And then we have got Greg Brydon, who was on the show last week, which I sat back and watched the episode and I thought, if I could ever speak as half as good as him, I would be very happy because he is such an influential speaker and I could listen to him for hours on end. So we've got Greggy coming on to talk about the auction results as well. So super excited to hear what they have to say.
Now, last week we did talk about auctions and we spoke about the benefits and we had that kind of boxing ring fight between you in the private sale corner and Greggy in the auction corner. You got comprehensively beaten, smacked around by the auction man. This week or the week just gone, have you incorporated any auction presentations into your listing prezos?
No, I haven't actually. I reckon I've seen one auction in Lang Lang in my life and there was no bids. But maybe I can do an auction in Lang Lang.
Maybe you could.
Maybe that should be a goal. We've got 7 episodes left of this series. Maybe I need to do an auction in Lang Lang.
So again, if you're watching or listening, Lang Lang is a small country town with 3 pubs, 1 footy ground and an old church. And there is not much else there. Like
There's
great people.
Couple churches.
A couple churches. Great community, really good country vibe.
Yep.
Typically not your area for auctions. And you've just laid down the gauntlet. So in 7 weeks, I want you to have an auction not only listed, but performed. We might even just go live to the auction, run a podcast from there.
Well, Greg will do it. Yeah.
Greg will do it. There you go.
He'll do it for free too, I heard.
Well, he probably will.
And Craig will film it as well. So couple sponsorships.
Let's shift a little bit now to what you're seeing in the marketplace. And this is obviously a Victorian perspective, but for once, Victoria is now on par with the rest of the country. What are you seeing?
Well, I was having a quick look or a watch, or I can't remember what I was doing, but our auction numbers in Melbourne is so much higher than every other major city around Australia, which I find interesting.
Why?
Well, you look at Sydney, it's a marketplace that's always been dominated by auctions. And then Melbourne, don't know, is Melbourne kind of like a lot more people are starting to sell here now? Don't know.
Definitely. Well, Melbourne's always been more of an auction-dominant marketplace than what Sydney has, what Queensland has. So that's always been the case. But last few years, clearance rates, well down. Well down, like sub 60%, sub 50% even in some weeks. Whereas your Sydneys and your Brisbanes were constantly ticking over your 65s and 70s. That's changing now, though. So did you check out the auction clearance rate last weekend?
No, I haven't, mate, no.
Yeah. We'll have to chat with Greg about that, but it is definitely changing. One thing that I think stands out for me, we had the interest rate announcement, right? Did you follow that?
Yeah, because they held cash rates.
Stayed on hold.
Yeah.
So I'm keen, because you own a house, right?
Yeah.
We've had a couple of interest rate drops while you've been a mortgage holder. Have you reduced your mortgage in line with the interest rates dropping?
What, like the borrowing
The
amount?
repayments. Sorry, the repayments. Yeah.
Man, I am so, like, with my finances, I don't know. I just get paid and don't look at it.
Oh, that's Kyla. So this is a really interesting thing, right? So interest rates have come down. The banks have passed those interest rate cuts in full.
I get you. I know what you're saying.
Now, repayment-wise, a lot of people then would jump on and then cut their repayments
Decrease.
too. Because if you can save a couple $100 a month, and for the average household income, I think you're saving about $300 from where it was at the start of the year to what it is now. You could do a lot of things with that $300, right? Have a guess at how many mortgage holders have cut their repayments in line with the last interest rate cut. What a bit, like, give me a percentage of how many you think would have cut it.
4%.
11. You've actually ruined it. 11%.
Really?
Yeah, a lot. I would have thought it'd be much higher. Like all these people, like cost of living crisis. I've got no money. I can't afford anything. Cool. Interest rates come down. I'm going to repay less of my repayments, but that's not happening. So people are saving money. And people aren't going out and spending. I think it's a fascinating fact. CBA said, 11%, only 11% of people have actually cut their repayments since the last interest rate drop.
See, I didn't know you could do that. I've just been paying this rate.
Well, that's good.
Gee, that shows how uneducated I am, right? So I've been paying this. All these interest rates have happened, and I've been paying this same amount. Yeah. And like I should have thought, why is that not going down? It's just staying the same amount. So I've been paying off more.
You've been paying off more.
Oh, good. That's good then.
That is really good. Yeah. You've been saying, so maybe that 89% aren't necessarily smart. They're just retarded.
Yeah.
Sorry to the entire 89%. I'm just offended by saying that.
That's okay. But chuck me in that pool. I'm all right with that.
That's actually crazy. That's really quite funny. So you weren't aware that you could actually then go to the bank, assuming you're not on a fix, but most people are on variable at the moment. You just go to the bank and say, actually, I want to reduce my interest rate repayments by whatever it is per month.
Yeah, maybe Jade. I'm going to ask Jade. Jade can tell me what I should be paying now. Yeah.
Well, I think it's good though. If you can pay off more, great, do it. If you can live and that's why I think this economy is still doing all right. I still do think there's going to be a few more interest rate cuts, but this economy, people still have money because people like yourself, and there's plenty of people out there, are paying off the same amount on their repayments as they were at the start of the year. They're none the wiser. They're not hurting. They're not suffering.
True. Good point.
Anyway, let's get Greggy on. What do you reckon? I think we want to chat about some auctions.
Yep.
We're going to go to a small break, and then we're going to bring on Greg Brydon back for episode number 2 with Greggy. All right, so we're going to get Greg on the phone. Let's do it, Brenna. Bring.
Good evening, the Apollo Auctions Hotline. How can I help?
I just said to the boys, the one way we can get Greg on the phone is tell him you're going to be on a podcast, and he'll answer straight away. So thanks so much, mate. Appreciate you.
This is very true. Or give me an auction booking, either of the two. If you text me and say auction booking, instant answer.
Well, we've got 2 for you actually, because I just said to Gav that we're going to do an auction in Lang Lang by episode 10, and I said you'll do it for free, and Craig will actually film a video for free as well. So
we'll do a podcast
there
out there.
Yeah, and a podcast.
There you go.
Yeah,
live auction podcast in Lang Lang.
Yeah, done. And then we'll have our LED sign up there by then as well.
Yeah,
pop that on the back of the car.
Would you be down for that, mate?
Very much so. Love it.
Yep, very cool.
How'd your weekend go, mate? Can you just run over the auction clearance rate and all that kind of fun stuff?
Interesting clearance rate from this weekend being grand final weekend that we've just gone past. So some stats for you. The week ending this Sunday, the 21st of September, so the previous weekend, there were 1,377 auctions in Victoria. This weekend, grand final weekend, 231. So just a little bit of a dip. Surprisingly or not surprisingly, clearance rates did drop down to 65% from 70% the week before, but it is going to be a bumper October. We are seeing some incredible booking numbers coming through. So October is going to be very busy.
Yeah, wow, 200. That is very, very low. Busy weekend this weekend, or does it start to amp up a little bit week 3 of October?
This week. No, this weekend is getting quite busy. We're expecting somewhere between 1,100 and 1,300 auctions. Again, it fluctuates because there's different methods of reporting depending on where you look at. But we're expecting somewhere between 1,100 and 1,300 auctions this weekend as a bit of a bounce back. And I'm expecting to see, again, with the interest rates, with the RBA on hold, I'm expecting to see clearance rates hover in that high 60s, maybe into the low 70s.
Yeah, wow.
Greg, I want to tell you anecdotally. So we had, obviously we spoke last week about auctions. I was disappointed Brent hasn't listed any. I thought maybe he may have been inspired, but alas, we move on. We had 2 auctions last night. We do in-room auctions rather than on-site auctions, and we love them. We had one that absolutely went crazy. So it's a 620 to 670 quote range, just a small, very small 4-bedroom house, like very standard, very cookie cutter as the word is. And it just flew off the handle, went cruising past the reserve, sailed past the top of the quote range. and they sold for well over $700,000. Just a small little run-of-the-mill one. It was so emphatically good that my co-director, who is now selling her house, has now decided that she is going to list her house as an auction property as of tonight.
Wow.
Very good. I love the story. Out of interest, buyer type for that one, was that a family? Was that a first home buyer, an upsizer locally?
A lot of first home buyers. A couple of investors being represented by buyers agents. But yeah, first home buyers. And they're nervous, and like you feel bad for them as well, because you watch them and they're coming in, they're so uncertain, they're sitting in the back, but they they compete. And once they get a roll on, they compete hard. Obviously, there's going to be people that miss out, and you do your best to make sure that they're being serviced post-auction. But man, oh man, these first home buyers, man, they're coming out in force. And I think today, with the passing of the legislation or the inaction of the legislation, it's just going to make matters even probably more drastic.
And that's exactly where they're sitting at the moment. We've seen, even in the last 2 to 3 weeks since there was the changes discussed to the first home buyer scheme, those buyers that had budgets up to sort of 750, which is where it was capping at, and they obviously had the income caps in place, they have just fought fiercely for properties up to that price, because they know there's going to be this new wave of buyers with uncapped incomes they talk about coming in competing. And so it'll be interesting to see what it does for the market.
I agree. And it'll be interesting to see what Brent Day does as well.
Yeah, heaps, hopefully.
We're going to call him Brent Day, the auction guy, is what I hear, is going to get himself back out and about and get working some buyers, get the clipboard. We get a new clipboard out, I reckon, and start writing down some bids, Brent.
Get those DM numbers up with the auction invites, you reckon?
100%. Yeah. I could just imagine do we want to do a POV auction for your TikTok?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd pop off, I reckon.
Auction ASMR or something like that.
Would you ever maybe put on a GoPro or whatever it is, the substitute now, put it on your head and just do it for an auction? And just so that
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I have. I've also done a virtual auction, but on the street. So I had goggles, I had headset on. I'm sure we can find some old footage of this. Where I could have a virtual heads-up display inside the goggles that I could see the vendors who were sitting inside on a Zoom call.
I'm going to pop it up on Google while we're speaking to you. Virtual auction.
Can I ask you a question as well? While they're looking that up, I saw an auction last weekend where there was 2 auctioneers at the same time.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I have had that DM'd to me more than 15 times asking for my opinion, and I will reserve my right not to comment.
Come on, man.
I missed the
we didn't
question.
get you on this to say no comment.
My feeling about auctions is we're here for the consumer, which is the client, which is the seller, and we're here for the buyers as well. Is what's the best representation for our sellers? For me, I feel the best auctions are where the auctioneer is a part of the process, not the focal point. We're here to just help. We're not here to be the focal point. So,
good point.
Or the focal points in that scenario.
Yeah, good point. That's much better than no comment.
Very political.
Very political. Have you managed to find it, Brent? I'm trying to get on my Instagram and find it. It was the world's first virtual in-person auction. I'll send it to you. That
was on the Herald Sun. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I showed it to Gav. I pulled it up. He gave us nothing though, so I put it away quickly.
Yes,
certainly was.
We'd moved on. All right, Greggy, give us one little nugget of advice for anyone that is contemplating a private sale over an auction right now that we could use as a little tidbit or reel.
There's always a common misconception that auctions don't involve conditional buyers. Now, it is somewhat true, but at the end of the day, an auction only gives the unconditional buyers a head start. So you are preferentially treating buyers that are in an unconditional format, which is what every seller wants to sell with. They don't want to sell with conditions for a lot of the time. And so don't think that auctions don't allow conditional buyers to participate. They just give the unconditional ones a head start. If it doesn't get to a level that the vendor wants, we can always enter into conditional negotiations after.
Perfect.
Damn, you are sexy.
And you can only hear my voice. Jeez, imagine if you saw me in person.
Oh man, we were just talking off air about how your voice has a strong timbre to it.
No, we were on it. That's got to
maybe we're on it.
Yeah, wait for that, Greg.
We were, yeah. So anyway, thank you very much for doing that, Brenny. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to ask?
Nah, I'm all good. I've had my Greek fix for the week, so thanks so much, mate. Appreciate you again.
Look forward to next week, boys. Enjoy.
All right.
Thank you, mate. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Honestly, he's really cool.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
I've known Greg for a long, long time, and I've seen him from, I think he's like an, I don't know, admin assistant or what do you, like a admin assistant role in one of our offices, and then really mastered his auctioneering craft. And I've seen him, he's gone through so many steps, and I think now I look at him and I think, God, this guy's a very, very mature gentleman now. And
Yeah.
it's great to see from where he's come from.
Yeah, it is. Well-rounded guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you one story. We're going to take a short break in a moment. But before we do, I want to give this really cool story, kind of off topic, but I digress. Bear with me, Brent.
Cucumber?
Brent's got this fascination right now. He's like, I want some cucumber. I don't know what it is. Anyway, let me tell you the story. Crazy thing, right? People always say to me, like, how do you invest? And this is not so much about real estate operations, but like just property in general. I have this theory, right, that one day own a property, and maybe you get a small little investment at the back of Lang Lang somewhere, I don't know, that you rent out, you pay off and you rent out. There was this big Russian guy that came to an inspection of mine about 10 years ago. Big bloke. He had that, like, you know, that hat, the furry hat that the Russians wear. He's coming in, he's really strong. But he talks like this. That's pretty funny. Anyway, comes in, buys the house off me. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do with it? You're going to rent it out or are you going to invest it? And he goes, Gavin, and he, big Russian accent, Gavin, let me tell you. And what he did, and the reason I bring it up, because I got a photo of him today, he bought the house, lived in it, paid it off as quick as he could, rented it out for $550 a week, moved to Fiji. He keeps $200 aside for like rates, repairs, emergencies for the house or whatever. But the $350 that he has left, he lives off that in Fiji like a damn king.
Yeah, wow.
Like a damn king. And he sent me a photo before, and he's sitting poolside. He's been there for a couple of years now, sitting poolside with a pina colada, getting a massage. And he's like living the life. Of $300 or $350 a week, he's living like a damn king. And he goes, Gav, if I ever run into trouble and I really need to do something, I just sell the house.
Yeah, wow.
It's gone up in value tremendously in that 8 or 10 years or whatever it is. Doubled in price nearly. And that is the most simplistic form, in my opinion, of how to live life if you can afford it. Obviously not everyone can, but if you can afford your own property, to buy it out, have an investment, just live off the rent.
So that's your investment advice.
Strategy, that's my strategy. Yep.
Move to Fiji, get it.
Move to Bali, move to Thailand. There are so many countries where the Western economy, the dollar goes you a long way. So you could even go to, I don't know.
Mate, Vietnam, like.
Go to Romania.
Yeah.
Turkey.
Could. Yeah, Kyla's a frequent of Turkey.
Yeah, Kyla does like turkey. Good bang for buck. Am I wrong?
No.
Anyway, I think that's a great little strategy. Cool. Anyway, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with the glitter bomb herself. And we're back from that elongated break. Thank you very much for sticking around. We are here with Narre Warren's top performer, Kylah Fruend. And I love it, by the way, because we've got O'Brien representation, Ray White representation, and Barry Plant. And we all get along. Like one big happy family.
When she's not talking.
So, Kyla, I am really interested. I've got a whole bunch of questions, but I'm going to give you an easy one because I know you're shitting yourself.
Absolutely.
How long have you been in real estate for?
So out on my own, 3 years, probably just over 5 in real estate in total.
And why did you get into this monogamy that's real estate?
Funny question. I was doing lashes, and slashing is a beauty for anyone who doesn't know that. And 2 people actually came in, one working for your company and another lady, Candace, and then he said you'd be really good at real estate. And I guess I liked the idea around the same as lashes. You control your money, you control your hours, and I guess it's interacting with people. So it was a very similar thing. I just had to learn how to do it. And that's how I got into it, through them, pretty much.
Do you ever miss doing lashes?
Absolutely not.
Can you do mine?
Yeah, maybe later.
It needs a bit of work. Do you do Brent's?
I reckon I've
Brent's got pretty good lashes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're biased.
just a little bit.
All right, so I'm going to throw to Brent. This is going to be interesting because if you haven't picked up already, Brent and Kyla are boyfriend, girlfriend.
Ooh la la.
XOXO. Brent, give us the first question and then I'm going to ask a few hard questions.
Mine's more of a kind of a statement from around what I've learnt from Kyla and where she's come from, especially in real estate, going back to pretty much what I've gathered anyway, is that in real estate, there's a lot of people that get classed as leaders, but a lot of people in our industry shouldn't actually be leaders. And you might write really good numbers from a GCI perspective, and you might do 150, 60 sales or whatever it is a year, and then you get handed this role called being a director or buying into the office, which we call the golden handcuffs. You know, you get given 10% and you're a director and you're a leader of that office. But what people don't understand is that being a leader, you have to show empathy. You know, you have to show people how to progress from here to here and actually act in a position where you're not filling your own back pocket. And I think a lot of leaders in this industry actually don't do that. The reason I mention this is because Kyla has this leader at the moment, Nicola, who's her director of the office in Barry Plant and Narre Warren. She would be, from an outsider looking in, one of the best leaders I've ever seen in this industry. She might lead hard and have very high expectations, but she leads by example. And my question to you is, how important has Nicola been for your career progression, especially over the last 12 to 18 months?
It's a good question because I think having someone with very similar core values, it definitely brings you up. But having, I think, someone in your corner wanting you to do better than them is also a really big thing in this industry. Like you said, everyone wants the money, everyone wants a listing and things like that. I feel like having someone to support you and watch you and want you to grow is massive, what I've gotten from her. And I think from the top coming down, again, you're on the ground, you're a director, you're there though in doing the long hours and showing your team what you need to do, not just saying, pointing the finger, do this, do that. So I think 100% she'd be so super important for my career and also the ship she runs. It's so tight. The procedures that she has in play that, again, have been passed down, sharing that same core value, it's super easy to rinse and repeat, I guess.
What is it about her, and be specific, that makes her a good leader?
I think you're like your default character, what's on the inside. I think her heart, again, if there's someone that I look up to in every aspect in life, not just real estate, it would be her. And I think that's super important because in this job, you know, it is easy, quote unquote, to get a listing and have a sale done, but to care and get that extra bit, I think is what I resonate with her because she does those things. Yeah,
that makes sense. I think I have a tremendous amount of respect for Nicola because she's gone in and opened up.
She was the first woman
in Narre Warren as a female.
First one.
In a very diverse marketplace, obviously very male-driven, but also obviously different ethnic backgrounds too. Tremendous amount of respect that she's been able to do that. And under her, she's managed to create some really, really good writers, aka Kyla. Now, I want to find out a bit more about your grassroots level because, again, if we've got any youngsters listening, they're like, well, cool. All right, so you're writing $2.5 billion now.
$3
billion. My apologies. How did you get there to begin with? What actions and activities were you doing to go into an area where you didn't have any market share and now you're number one?
I think like what we were saying before, coming back down to the daily tasks and the daily wins, it can get very mundane doing the same thing and not feeling like you're having a win. I think going back to those metrics, it was, you know, the calls per day, it was the appraisals per month, it was all those hard things that in that first month or 2 or 3, you don't see anything from. But after that, it definitely does come back and do the loop. And I think it's like that photo that you see, you know, the guy that's chipping away at the rock and he's right there so close. And I think a lot of agents do get so damn close, but they get over it and pull away before they get to the gold. I think doing those things like the calls, like the appraisals, getting in front of people physically and showing them what you've got to offer is definitely what took me from A to B.
And if another analogy to that photo is when you see the big iceberg in the water and you can see that the iceberg may be 20% above water and it's massive, but 80% below is all the work that the iceberg's actually got there to get above the water as well, which you're right, you don't see it in the first 2 to 3 months. It might be like 5 years, for example, as well. And going back to that, if you could say like 2 years ago, what would be the things that you'd done then that got you to where you are now?
Crying every day. No, I'm just kidding. It would be those numbers, getting in front of people and meeting people because, again, you can't be doing 3 to 10 appraisals a month and expecting to get a listing out of that. You need to be meeting lots of people and getting in front of those people. So for me, I was blessed to walk into, I guess, an office that did have quite a large database. But again, no one knew who Kyla was. So it's getting on the phone and getting in front of those people, which again, you say so easy and it is such a simple task, but why does not everyone do it? So I think it's that repetition and that dedication to doing the same things, to sticking it out is definitely what will get people there.
it's
And you've
about-
got to back yourself.
I think it's about showing up as well. Like, that's probably why people don't. Like, you've seen it more than us. Like, it's about showing up and doing it consistently, as opposed to just thinking it's happening. Is that what you see as well?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of agents, you talk about that iceberg or chipping away at the rock, they will make calls and they'll door knock and they'll prospect, rain, hail, or shine for 12 months, and then they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, so they give up
Yeah.
and they walk away. They say, "Oh, I was never going to make it." So you pushed through that, Kyla. Now, talk to me about the instances where you wanted to give up. You talked about crying every day. You would have had instances where you're like, you know what, stuff this, I wasn't made for it.
100%. I think the financial stress from being an assistant transitioning into an agent is massive, and I think people aren't ready for what you have to go through for that.
So did you make less?
110%.
Going from an assistant to a sales agent. So why did you stick at it? And were there any instances where you were crying on the floor of your bedroom going, what am I doing
Every
with my
Friday
life?
in Nicola's office.
There's a story. Sorry to interrupt you. There's a story you've told me before about Nick. I don't know if it was with you about financial stress, and I don't know if she'd done it for you. I think she borrowed you money or something.
Definitely.
To go into that if you want to.
So I think it comes back to having someone that believes in you more than you believe in yourself. So as a director, if you have someone there that does believe in your core values, and I think to do real estate, you don't need a special skill set. You just need to be able to care and want to help people. I think genuinely that is. Everyone can put it on real estate. Everyone can get it out and get people to property. But that bit there is the core value. And I think for having someone higher up back you and see that when you couldn't see that, it definitely helps you push through. I think that would be definitely, one of the things that has helped me push through. But the dark days, like I said, you don't realize that it's not all sunshine and rainbows doing what you have to do every day. And financially, for the first few years, it's not easy, but the reward comes at the end.
Me.
If I was
You're the
doing
pot
real
of gold
estate
at the end of the rainbow.
and if I was doing
I
real
was
estate
hoping
for
for
10
gold,
years,
I got Brent.
if I was doing real estate for 10 years before I got good, I probably would have gave up.
Yeah, it's true.
Great date.
Good point. You got 4 years left.
All right, so one of the things that I talk a lot with my guys that I'm teaching is about knowing your numbers. Now, a lot of the blokes in my office are all gym dudes. Like they all bench press 100 plus kilos. They all look really strong. They don't have a gut like what I've developed over the last 6 months. Kyla, you are someone that competes, bodybuilding, and you've been very successful at that. Is there any similarities between what you do as a bodybuilder and what you do as an estate agent?
I think 100%. I think like what you were saying, knowing those numbers and doing the repetition, even when it does get boring, like going to the gym and doing the same thing over and over again and not really seeing a lot happen on the off season and then see it all come together on season is something like same thing what we're saying in real estate. You put something new in play, 3 months later, you'll see the outcome of it. But I think people don't stick that 3 months out is what makes it super hard. So I think backing yourself and trying them long enough to see the outcome, I guess the correlation between them both would be knowing the numbers, knowing that to get more muscle, you have to progressively overload. To get more listings, you need to meet more people. It's as simple as that, but people do, I guess, mix it all up and make it seem harder than it is, but it's not.
All right,
it just gets boring.
I'm going to rapid fire some questions at you right now.
I'm scared.
So about numbers, right? We'll talk about your gym. So when you were at your peak and you were about to compete, how many calories were you eating per day?
Got down to 1,600.
1,600. No, that's not.
How much cardio was that
Pretty sure I
doing?
had that in a pizza yesterday. 1,600. How much would you squat? I don't know, like using a machine. I don't even know. How much would you squat?
Off season, maybe 100 kilos. Off season, maybe 80.
Yep. How much would you dumbbell shoulder press?
55. Nah, like 15 kilos.
Fine,
Okay, cool. So you know your numbers, right?
100%.
How many times would you go to gym per week?
Every day. At that point,
What time?
in the morning, every morning, 5 a.m.
What time would you leave?
7:30, 7.
Okay, so you know your numbers, right?
100%.
So then what I'm getting my guys to do, and I'm going to ask you some questions, would be how many people in your database? How many people in your hot stock? How many people in your pipeline? How many people in your prospects? How many houses are there in your patch, farm area of influence? And if you didn't know that, I'm going to tell you, you've got 1 week to go out and count every single damn house in that patch. And if you don't know it by the end of next week, see you later. So, Kyla, how many's in your database?
My database, I actually don't know.
She needs to know numbers.
But tell me about my farm area. I can tell you
How
all
many's
the
in your
things.
farm area?
2,230 something.
That's good. Okay.
Well,
Next
houses.
week,
Houses.
you have to know exactly how. I don't want 2,230 something. Exactly.
Exactly how
Not
many.
Exactly.
All right, done.
call
I'll
her.
have that for you.
We'll phone her in.
We'll phone you in. And so this is
And we have an auction this week. So
Hey.
you can phone me in. I'll tell you how it goes.
Don't try and get on the auction train.
yeah. So this
Private
is
sale.
going back to we're pretty close to selecting someone who will come on as an individual junior agent starting out in real estate. One of the things that we want to know is, do you know your numbers? And how adequate are you at reeling them off? If Brent says to you right now, what's in your pipeline? How many people in your pipeline? You should be able to know like straight away. So we're pretty close to picking a couple. If you want to hop on the show and be mentored by Brent and maybe even Kyla, I'm just going to throw you into it as well, then please reach out.
I think it's pretty good. We've got, like you said, 3 extremely strong brands and can still sit in a room together and have a lot of love. And I think everyone pulls something different to the table. So if whoever gets chosen, very, very lucky.
And the best thing about it, we're all at 3 different levels of our career. Kyla's just started.
Just a baby.
She's a baby.
No, I actually genuinely mean that. Like, with
How old are you?
I'm 29, but I am. I have just put on an assistant. I'm not. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah, correct.
I've just put on my second. Gavin's just put on his 5th or 15th. I can't remember.
Georgia.
what it
Welcome,
was.
Georgia.
Yeah, she's good.
And yeah, so first assistant, second assistant. Gav's just jumped in with 5, and
The jump to your first assistant is one of the biggest leaps that you can make in your career.
yeah,
Obviously, you've gone from PA to a sales agent, which is fine because if you fail, then all you've got is to blame is yourself, right? When you bring on a PA, if you fail, you feel bad because then obviously you have to let them go. And quite often that person's taken a big leap of faith to join you. How hard was it putting on that first assistant and how long have you been thinking about it for?
So I'd been thinking about it for a while and I didn't really know which way to go. I didn't want someone staring at me for 8 hours of a day being like, well, what do you want me to do? I felt that was very scary. But I think now that I've put an assistant on, and again, I think, like I was saying, she shares the same core values. I think that's very important when selecting a team or selecting
What does that mean,
a
core
company.
values?
She's very beautiful, treats people with respect, has a lot of etiquette, like would take your shoes off walking into a property, you know.
are you saying you share those same core values?
I
or-
do, Brent, hey. Just not at your house. No, I'm just kidding. And I think that's very important because you can't train them. You will always go back to that default character. So putting someone on, again, I thought I'd put someone on that had the things I didn't have, that would go door knock and, you know, do all those things. But I've actually now got someone who is the exact same as me, which is a lot easier to leave someone with your business, for instance, if you go away or whatnot, to look after it because they will do it the same way you would do it. And I think too, in our job, if someone does one thing wrong, it's all over. You leave a door open, it's, you know what I mean? You lose that trust with the client. So I think having someone that you're able to trust, because it represents your business, is massive.
Are you nervous now that he or she is full-time?
No, I'm actually not.
Yeah.
She is amazing too. Like I said, she's got that hustle. And I think if you don't have that hustle starting out, what do you have? Don't do real estate. Like, it is hard. It's not easy. And I think nowadays people think you can just sit at home and do it part-time. You can't. You got to back yourself all in or out.
Yeah, correct. No, that's a very good point. All right, Brent, you're a Brenton or a Brent?
Just Brent, mate.
Just a Brent?
Yep.
All right, do you have any other questions for Glitter Bomb?
I'm actually very impressed. Like, I haven't seen her speak in a mature manner. Like, I don't think ever.
I think I've been shaking the whole time.
No, she's been amazing. So
Where'd you get the name Glitter Bomb?
So, again, I'm so structured, but I'm not. And yeah, that is where I got that from.
What was the word that you used before? That you are a cluster
Cluster. Are we allowed to say that on air? We're going to get cancelled, Craig.
go.
So is Glitter Bomb another word for cluster
Yeah, it pretty much is.
That's cool.
But I think, like you said, you actually can't be, you can't be late for a listing. You can't be this, you can't be that. So I think in some ways, not organised, Glitter Bomb sends 500 messages and probably only needs to send one. But like, again, those core values, that what you share in that, like your heart, I guess, and what you have to give. It doesn't change. You don't have to try. You know what I mean?
Glitter bomb to me resonates chaotic magic.
Correct.
And that's
that
what you
would
are.
be me perfectly.
I think you're chaotically magical.
Thank you
Kyla,
so much,
thank
Gavin.
you so much for joining us on the Real Estate Forum. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Brent will hang out with you after this. I won't, but I like the fact that you came on at such short notice.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and we're back with our favourite mortgage broker, Jade Murphy from 11 Financial. Jade, you are here with AKA the big dogs. You got Brent and myself, but more so Kyla.
I was just about to say I am the big dog.
Yeah,
The
Kyla's-
boss.
Kyla is
Yep.
the boss. So we've got a couple more questions. Huge day today, Jade. Massive week.
Very big day.
Brent's going to ask you a couple of questions, but before he does, what is going on with today? What's happened today that makes today so big?
Yeah, so as of today, all income caps have been removed from the first home guarantee scheme and the property price caps have been increased substantially. So down in Victoria, it's been increased from 800,000 to 950,000.
So what does that mean?
So yesterday, you would have been able to buy a property for up to $800,000 with a 5% deposit and not have to pay lender's mortgage insurance. You would also secure really good market leads. As of today, that maximum purchase price has increased by $150,000.
Wow. So as a first home buyer, you can buy a house for $950,000 with a 5% deposit and not pay that ugly insurance tax called LMI?
Not pay lender's mortgage insurance and still be able to secure the same interest rates that you would get if you were to save a 20% deposit.
That's huge.
It's huge.
I think the repayments for that would be through the roof.
What happens if it was 901? Does it still apply?
Yeah.
Well, the cap's 950.
If it's
So
950.
So if
51.
it went to 951, does it just fully null and void?
We have an,
no,
un- an uneducated guest on the podcast. It's
yeah,
950.
so if it was 951, it wouldn't apply.
What's it in
Wow.
Sydney and around the rest of the country?
Sydney, oh, you're really testing me now. Sydney, I believe, has gone up to, I think it might be 1.2. I know Queensland's gone up from 600,000 to $1 million, which is huge
Huge
for the Queenslanders. The market has increased so much up here that, you know, you couldn't get anything for $600,000. So that's going to be a big one. In Sydney, I'm just confirming.
I think it is 1.2.
Yeah, I think it's 1.2. But yeah, a substantial price raise across the whole country, basically.
Jade, personal
Yes.
question.
Why hasn't my partner's mortgage repayments gone down?
Oh, there you go.
Because I have mentioned this to him.
Now they're thinking I'm a liar.
With a lot of the banks, they don't automatically decrease your repayment. So what will happen is you might be making the same repayment. The interest portion of that repayment is reduced.
Yeah.
As per the rate decrease. But what it means is you start to pay off the mortgage quicker and build equity in the property. So I actually recommend to my clients not to reduce their repayments if it's within their budget.
Yeah.
If you want to reduce your repayments and it's a bank that doesn't automatically do it, you can usually change it through your app or giving them a call.
So you're basically my financial advisor now too.
Yeah.
Jade, have a guess what percentage of customers at CBA have adjusted their repayments since the last interest rate drop?
I think it would be pretty low. I think it would be about 27%.
11%.
I said 4.
Wow.
Yeah, Brent said 4, but we had no idea what he was answering.
What's the question?
11%.
yeah.
The CBA announced on Monday, 11%. So there might be customers like Brent where they didn't actually know what they were doing, but there also could be a lot of customers who are just making a conscious decision saying, well, I've been paying this amount safely since the start of the year. Why not keep doing it and eat away at the principal and interest?
Yeah, I think so. And I actually did a video on this. I think it was a 0.25% rate cut on a $600,000 loan. if you were to keep the repayments as is rather than reducing it, it reduces your loan term overall by about 2.5 years, which something so small makes a pretty big impact.
Yeah, that is huge.
Segue from that, Jade, if I was a buyer and I wanted to spend $800,000 on a property today, what would I need to do?
You would first of all need to review your borrowing capacity. So you would come to me. If you had your deposit saved, you would give me a call, and what we would do is run through your income and your expenses to confirm that you've got the borrowing capacity to purchase for $800,000. We'd then go through the process of getting you pre-approved so that you can actively start shopping and be confident when you are competing with other buyers, speaking to real estate agents and so on, putting in offers on properties.
I got a question. Would you advise to get a prenup or not?
I believe in Australia they're called financial agreements.
They're called prenups.
And I have my own property, thank you. So I might be getting it on you, boy.
Big guy.
I mean, I think it's to each their own, you know.
That's such a political answer too.
Diplomatic.
They're diplomatic.
It's to each their own. Do you know what? There's been cases over the years where if one party comes into a property purchase with substantially more than the other, then yes, I would, you know,
Thanks for the
I
advice.
guess recommend it. Yeah, but that's advice for a lawyer and the couples individually.
Thank you.
This has been a disaster.
I'm not
of a
qualified
show.
to give legal advice.
Don't cancel Jade.
This show has been terrible. It's just about these two either side of me just throwing barbs at each other, Jade. Like Brent's like underhanded comments and Kyla's coming back like, I've got a property too, boy. Like this is it's
Like-
Oh my
it's been
God.
the whole show.
We're going to get those subscribers up, so we'll do anything.
That's so funny.
Jade, thank you very much for joining us on here. Anything else? I mean, obviously interest rates stayed as per normal. Expectations moving forward. Are we looking at a reduction next month?
No, I don't think we are. Inflation was slightly up last quarter. From what it sounds like after yesterday's RBA meeting, there's whispers that we're probably not going to see any reductions until May next year now. So
Even with the
I
job
wouldn't-
market softening?
Yeah, I wouldn't be holding my breath for a reduction before the end of the year. But I think, you know, sometimes we can be expecting one and then it doesn't go ahead. So it really comes down to what the job market's doing, what the inflation rates are and so on right before the next meeting.
And Michelle Bullock's
I
been
wish I
pretty
had a crystal
gun-shy
ball.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much, Jay. We appreciate your support. And if you need financial advice, what's it called?
Me.
If you need a pre-approval and some financial advice on top, Jade's your
And a
woman.
prenup?
Prenup?
Not a prenup.
No, she gave me, I was about to swear then. She gave me no prenup advice. I'll be going on a wing.
No
Jade,
prenup advice.
thank you very much for chiming in. Look forward to catching
Thank
up with you next
you.
week.
Ciao.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye. We'll keep rolling because I want to ask one question while we're here. How the hell are you two dating? I mean, let me just recap for a bit, right? So you're both estate agents. Kyla is exceedingly better looking than you. Exceedingly better looking than you.
It's just obvious.
And
She is.
you're both in real estate, working in similar areas. Like you'd have a bit of crossover. Like you've sold in Cranbourne before. You've sold in Narre before.
Brent's thinking what I'm thinking. How did we meet?
No, she's, yeah.
Well, I figure you met like, well, actually,
Walking
I know how
out
you
of a
met. You
listing.
walked out of listing presentations. One walking in, one's walking out. Love at first sight. But do you like share trade secrets? Like, do you talk about real estate at home? Like, what goes on there?
Brett doesn't like to talk about it as much, but I think in terms of we are super separate in terms of our market, and I do bounce off Brent a lot. Like I said, he's been in the industry double the amount that I've been in, and I think that's experience. So I'm always one to learn. I don't think I know it all the time.
Are you worried about Brent coming in and stealing your pipeline?
Absolutely not. If I thought that, I wouldn't be dating the guy,
I
right?
think, like I told Gavin listening I went to the other day, I tell everyone everything. Like, yeah.
You're an open
Yeah.
book.
I think like if someone wants to compete, like not egotistically, but if someone wants to compete with us and we're scared to compete with anyone, then we've probably lost the business anyway.
I had a PA who was one of my early PAs back in the day, and she started dating one of my competitors in town. And I actually said, you can't date him. And then my boss pulls me in and goes, Gav, you cannot say who your PA can and cannot date. I'm like, but she's going to see my pipeline board, and over a while, her loyalties will fall with him and not me. And my boss is like, it doesn't matter. Like, you just have to trust her. Anyway, so.
Nicola was the opposite. She pushed me to Brent.
Really?
She pushed me to Brent.
That's
Why?
why I gave her a pump up before.
Why did she push you to Brent?
No, like said.
Look
like,
at me, Gav. Come on.
No,
Yeah,
she said,
no,
wow,
you are
everything
good-
you've said
you're
is
a good-looking
perfect.
guy.
Go for him.
Do you have good abs?
Pardon?
Me,
Yeah.
they're popped now.
They're
At
coming.
episode 10, they'll be here, man.
At the auction.
Yeah. At
Maybe get
auction,
another sponsor. Tyler.
auctions, abs, kebab. Nah, we can't do kebabs and abs. What else? And the sign. And Lang Lang and Greg.
Yep. And that is, yeah, that's it. Spot on. All right. So reiterating about this mentorship program, we do want a few more applicants to throw their name in there. We've got a couple that we're looking at already, but we do want to finalize that by next week. So please, 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 if you're still listening at this point in time, which it's really been about 40 minutes. So
How do
kudos
they
to you.
apply if they want to get in, Gav?
Yeah, great question, actually. They could email Craig, or if no one does that anymore, just send us a message on Instagram, tickety-tockety, Facebook. Does people use Facebook, X, Twitter? You can Snapchat. Brent,
MySpace.
I don't have Snapchat. You can send a Telegram.
Yeah. And while we're on that too, mate, if anyone is listening and they would like to be a part of the show as a sponsor, send our producer Craig an email.
Craig at craighollowell.com.au.
And he'll
Like
sort
and
you.
subscribe.
He'll sort you out with some packages. And Craig just doesn't have our sponsors sign up and not help them out. He helps them out in every way possible. And yeah, it's a very good business plan.
Cool. All right, recapping some key takeaways that I got out of Kyla's talk. The first one is that even if you aren't seeing success straight away, keep digging that hole to reach that goal. And then the second one as well, know your numbers. Just like a bodybuilder does, know your numbers inside and out from a work perspective. It's important you know what you're doing. You can make deliberate decisions when you know what you're doing. Third one, what do you take out, Brent?
I think it's,
Kyla.
as I mentioned at the start, get yourself a good leader. Like look at Kyla from where she started, and I understand that there's a progress from when you start to where you get to 5 years later. But she made sure she had the right leader, and she stuck with her. And as you can see, it's worked really well for her. So get yourself a good leader, and you go far.
Adaptive Fire and Electrical, thank you so much again for your ongoing sponsorship. He is an OG of this podcast, Adaptive
Day one.
Fire and Electrical, along with 11 Financial and Apollo Auctions, our sponsors. They just keep getting bigger and bigger. Thanks to Craig. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Kylah Fruend.
Wow.
How do I say it?
Fruend.
Let's go eat
Fruend.
some food.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having
guys.
me, boys.
Peace.